Alright, and so for this portion of the video, I'm going to be talking about the top 10 step-ups in my opinion. Like I said, this is very opinion-based. Something that I might say can be completely different to what you think. It can also mean, like, you know, this character maybe won't be as good as what you think, depending on what I think. Yeah, just, you know, it's very objective, as the word is. So obviously this is going to be in order from, like, the, you know, 10 below. Going from the best of the best to still good, but you know, top 10 as the thing goes. The thing with step ups that I will say before I even talk about them, a lot of these step ups in general either are not very usable now because of how the meta shifts, or they're just good in general. It's either you fall into one of each category. And before I even talk about this, I do have a character that I will talk about right now. That is Helmeppo. I actually do not have Helmeppo. Let's see if I can scroll down real quick. I can find him right here. But from what I've seen, he's not that great. I've seen people play him on my team. Shout out to Gob for playing him. He just doesn't seem that great. Like I said, I can't really speak on behalf of, you know, gameplay wise, because I have never played him. I've only seen people play him, and from what I see, he's not that great. He can work. I would have probably put him on the list here because the bar is very low when it comes to, you know, 10 of these characters. But like I said, the only issue is that I don't have him, so I can't really talk about my own, you know, little experience with him. So I will say a couple things that he does have to start is very interesting. Being able to give people a cap in a flag, characters like Shanks and Lucci can very well benefit from this. But the problem is you are a step up, and if you die, the boost trait leaves. So you know you're not that tanky to begin with. But on paper, very solid. I know his movement as well is also pretty good. He has a moving skill, which I think it's his this one, the gotta hit it. This one goes really fast. It's kind of like Killer in that sort of way. He spins his blades and he just goes straight. It's very interesting. That's all I can say. Knockback, you know, speed reductions by other characters. It just doesn't do that much damage, but it's very good for movement to get mid flag. And like I said, the other skill, the trait, this one, very solid. Confuse though, not as prevalent in this meta. A lot of people have nullified status in general, so that's not exactly the best. And Confuse is very easy to play off anyway, because you know, if you just hold the screen with 2 fingers, you completely ignore Confuse. It's not that crazy. Attack reduction is nice though. But like I said, his main trait is just the cap thing for your team. The big issue that I also know that he also has is not being able to, or not that, but just not having cap speed in his kit really sucks. Because you scroll down, you have no cap speed as a runner. You have no cap speed. He does have a defense buff, you know, couple buffs, reduction, which it looked, like I said, looks very good on paper. I just don't have him, so I can't really speak on him. So he won't be on this list, just so you know. But from paper, if I were to rank him, he would easily be top 5. I think he would be better than a couple characters that I will talk about later. I will bring him up. I'll be like, oh, this is where Helmeppo would be if I had him. But like I said, I don't have this guy, so I can't really gauge how good he is. You know, from personal experience, which is what I usually go with in these videos anyway, so keep that in mind. He won't be in this video for that reason. I got shafted, basically. But on the number 10 spot for my pick for top step up is going to be Inazuma. Inazuma came out last year. He's not crazy, but the thing that makes me put him on this list, like I said, the bar is very low. I was really struggling to look for characters that are good. I was never a fan of Inazuma personally, but I know some people said he was the best step up to come out when he did come out, which I think is completely false. I don't think he's that great. He ends up just being a wall merchant. He's a wall defender that, you know, he puts up a wall up, and he's very reliant on that wall to stay alive. Lots of skills nowadays go through walls. Kamisari goes through walls. Back in this time, I think who was Metal Gear 5 can go through walls. Bazooka Gun as well as Kaminari goes through walls, so it wasn't that crazy, which did suck. But he did have some survivability in the case of, I think it's his right here. So every single time people hit your wall, it'll be like, let me see right here. Where is it? Right here. When the shield you created attacked by an enemy, you also get a heal back as well as cooldown for the skill. That was a very solid trait. The only thing is, it's really easy to counterplay, which end up just being, you know, not hitting the wall to begin with. His other skill wasn't crazy. The what's it called, keep out. I do like how it has pushback instead of knockback. That helped him a lot. And that meta, like I said, Gear 5 was meta as well as Onizoro, and they couldn't get knocked back in certain thresholds. But this did help to push him out, so it was also pretty nice to have. The skill just didn't do that much damage, which wasn't great. But like I said, his wall is pretty good. He has an attack on it at 702 damage, which is very, very high. And then it's 150 your health, so obviously giving him max health is very, very good. But like I said, I was just never a big fan of this character. I know, like I said, people did hype him up, and I just wasn't a big fan of him. It ends up just being you like him or you don't, and for my case, I just didn't like him. But that's why he's on number 10. Like I said, good survivability. At that time, nowadays, probably not that good because Kamisari is literally everywhere. But he, like I said, the bar's very low, so he did make the number 10 spot. So we'll go on to number 9. For number 9 step up, I actually have is Señor Pink. So Señor Pink got a buff, I want to say last year again. Once again, bar's very low right now, but he's a very, very solid character. Jesus Christ, I don't know what the fuck that was. But the reason why I put him pretty high is just, once again, survivability. I'll talk about why he's not that great in a bit. Trait-wise, like I said, he has some pretty good traits. He got buffed. He's pretty quick now from what he was on release. On release, he was pretty terrible. He was fun to use, but like I said, terrible. Which, I mean, I know the fun aspect is something when it comes to step-ups, but it's not what we're looking for here. It's going to be, usability, survivability. Fun does have something to do with it, but in this case, it wasn't that great. So his main issue was being hit when you swim. I know also, what's his name, S-Shark has the same issue. I don't understand why they didn't learn last time. When you're swimming and getting hit, it's ass. It's really, really bad. So he swims for a long time. Like I said, the skill power is 437, but you rarely hit that hit to begin with. It's mainly just for movement. But being able to get hit when you're in it without any reduction compared to like S-Shark has 70% reduction plus heal back, and Señor Pink has nothing. It's not great, but it's good movement for what it is. His diaper bombs also hit pretty hard, you'd be surprised. Skill power is 637, which is pretty high with knockback. Gets people out flag, but ends up just being not a lot of people can get knocked back, and his damage isn't that great. Like I said, it can hit hard, but 9 times out of 10, you're not really going to be doing that much damage with him to begin with. And like I said, his main issue is just the swim. I just saw right now. He actually does get 50% reduction, but it's not enough. It's the same issue with Shark, I feel. I'm going to make a gameplay on him soon, and I'm going to see it firsthand, but the times that I've played him, getting hit while you're swimming is the worst thing ever. And I know for Shark, since I'm really comparing them, he gets statused if he doesn't have type advantage. So against light units, he can get status, so anti-heal, and then stun from like light Zoro, for example. I know these are like very, very built to counter, dark units and, for S-Shark, blue units, but in his case, he doesn't have that at all, which really sucks. He does have the status null when he's swimming, but it ends up just being you're gonna guard the flag and get anti-healed anyway or whatever. And not even that, they're just gonna hit you hard because ignore reduction skills exist, which really does suck. He also has a reduced damage by 30% when you're not moving, which is very interesting. I understand why they give it to him because that's his old character, but at the same time that sucks. And then it doesn't imply when you're using a skill, it's just like standing still, which is really weird. But like I said, Señor Pink, not the worst character in the world, not the best. It was kind of in the middle. Bar, like I said, isn't too high, so I put him on this list just because I think he's not that bad. Compared to Inazuma, I would rather use Señor Pink. For our number 8 spot, I will actually have Film Red Nami. She actually made it on the list last time, and she has a very, very interesting gimmick. She has invincibility. Invisibility. Big difference. Being able to get off the map is very, very nice for a runner. She ends up just having the same issue as lots of characters have. She's a status character that usually gets nullified. Her big thing is shock. Every Nami has a shock type thing. Oni Nami's big thing was shocking with Zeus. She just kind of shocks people with normals and the other thing with her skill, which, like I said, not as prevalent in the meta as you could have hit last year or 2 years ago. For her Skills, Mirage Tempo is going to be her invisibility. Like I said, it's going to be, if we scroll down here, it'll be for 14 seconds, which is pretty long. I know Warlords does buff this, so do keep that in mind. So if you are using her, you can use Warlords, and that will up that timer. Which, I mean, like I said, just being able to not be seen is very, very good. But the problem is, S-Snake exists. S-Snake can just hop on different flags, and also the map exists as well. If people aren't aware of the map, this can be a very, very solid skill. Getting around the map, grabbing flags is also very, very nice to have as well. So do keep that in mind as something that we're going to be talking about later. The other skill is going to be Thunderbreed Tempo. It's going to be 532 attack damage, which is very, very nice. It shocks also as well. Nullify Stagger as well. But like I said, overall, the skill, it hits hard. It is what it is. It just, shocking isn't really prevalent. It's okay. If you can shock people, it hits pretty hard. So that's something that you can note. Going over to traits, though, if I can click it, 5% chance to shock them with normals is pretty funny. You also get a speed boost when you get invisible. When people get shocked, you guys will get a heal back, which sucks because, like I said, anti-status exists. But when you can't shock, it's very, very good to have. You also get a lot of cap speed when people aren't with you. You also get a team boost gauge, which is very, very interesting to have in this meta. Having a character that can just get team boost gauge is very, very nice. Each cap that you get, 5%, will benefit your team at all. Well, in general, should I say, will benefit your team, which is always going to be good. It's always going to be something that people are going to be looking forward to because, late team boosts usually dictate who wins the match. So that's why I put her on number 8. Team boost gauge is the main thing. Invisibility is another thing, but her big issue is the shock thing. You can't really shock that many people in this meta, so do keep that in mind. For our number 7 spot, this one also might be a little bit of a what's called personal preference. It's gonna be Green Pudding. I always have her on these lists, and she is phenomenal. I really love this unit. She's boost 4 for a reason. She is very, very tanky. She takes a beating like a champ easily. And not a lot of characters can do what she does, which I will talk about right now. Her main thing is healing people with her cakes and also debuffing people. She heals on knockback when she gets knocked back, as well as heals on her skill. So you have double healing there. A lot of characters in almost every meta have a lot of knockback. I used to use her a lot during the film Red Shanks meta. He had knockback on normals as well as skill, to the point I just could heal him his damage. The only problem with this unit, honestly, is her damage is not good. She really doesn't do that much damage. I'm hitting like single-digit, double-digit damage on skills and normal. But she can be a very, very annoying character. She's very solid, though. Like I said, the healing thing is a big thing. When you attack somebody's skill 1, you also remove their attack increase. So stacking characters can lose that buff, and she can just do that via skill. It's very, very good. And you also take away their cooldown time of their skills as well, which is very nice. And then when you have your third hit, you have the 50% chance to edit. So how edit works, it's like a stun, but it's not a stun, if that makes sense. Characters like V1 Roger, for example, nullify stun. And this isn't stun, so it still hits him, and it's literally just stun without it being named stun. Like I said, the only issue is anti-status exists. But when you can completely chain edits and edits, it's so hilarious when that happens. And she's also kind of weird because she's an anti-Big Mom pirate character, because she's anti-Charlotte family. So any Big Moms, Katas, whatever siblings or Big Mom pirates are gonna come out soon. She is anti them, which is weird because she's in that crew. But like I said, when she gets hit by knockback, she gets a defense buff of 30% for 20 seconds and a 15% heal back. Not to mention the skill, this one, the Eat Up, gives you a heal buff and a 30% defense increase. That one does stack though, because you can tell here it actually says, it doesn't say does not stack. So keep that in mind. I actually might be wrong. I don't want to say that actually, but it might, and that's just makes her better. She's a character, like I said, that can really take a beating. Only issue is she can't do that much damage. Anti-status, once again, big issue on this character. But overall, super fun character. Number 7 for a reason. Definitely recommend people play her a lot more. Nowadays, she doesn't hold up too much just because of grabbing flags when you're in the treasure area exist, which really sucks. But she's very fun. I definitely recommend her to anybody that's looking for a fun character, but she is my number 7 spot. For number 6, this one is going to be Light Carrot. So Carrot was a Valentine's step up that came out last year as well. She made it on the list last year from what I remember. Her main thing is shock. The other Carrot was the same way, as well as interesting map layouts, because she has a trait that it can either be good or a waste of a trait depending on what map you're playing on. So do keep that in mind. Like I said, her main thing is shock. She has shock on her normals as well as her skills, and she hits pretty hard for what it is. But she was a very, very fun unit. I wouldn't say she's solid. She was okay for what she was, but her being a light unit moves her up on this list just for the sake of the rarity. Having type advantage is also very, very nice to have. So do keep that in mind as well. For her skill though, Sweet and Tasty's a heal back. It's also going to give you a nullify stagger and also status effects. The only issue with this skill, I've noticed this on, I think there's another character that does the same thing, but it actually works the way that it should have. When you use this skill, it heals you, then gives you status immunity. Oh, it was, what's it called, what's his name, Hody Jones, there you go. So, the reason that this sucks is that, let's say if you're anti-healed and then you pop the skill, you actually don't get the heal back, which is really is unfortunate. For the sake of this unit, it's not the greatest thing to have. You know, having a skill that heals you and then just not being able to get the heal is just not good. as easy as it is. She does get a 3% damage increase in attack, should I say, which is very, very nice. And nullify stagger, she doesn't have it via kit, so having it locked by a skill also kind of sucks, but it kind of works both ways. You're going to want to get the skill a lot. But like I said, the main issue is just that if you're anti-healed, you don't get the heal back, which really sucks. Electrical Luna does good damage. She punches on the floor, puts like a little heart on the field. So the when she jumps up, I think she actually does like damage. It's 113, which is not that high, but her initial launch down on the floor is 566, which is pretty high. It also shocks, like I said, and then it leaves a little trade area for a couple seconds. That's just like a little shock field. But like I said, it ends up just being, if you can't shock, you're not great. And anti-status, once again, coming back, big issue on these characters. Looking at her traits though, so like I said, 5% chance to inflict shock. When she does shock, she also increases nullify stagger time, which is interesting because, like I said, it's locked between a mechanic that you don't get as much as you used to. But you do get it for 10 seconds. It's something. And then also this trait right here is very, very weird that they give these to both carrots. I'm wondering what the thought process was. When you jump down from a height, you get a speed buff by 30%. So the original carrot, the green one, had that same thing as well. So like I said, it depends on the maps. You can either use this trait a lot, like let's say for example, Sabodi. Sabodi both stages, going up and down the stage. You have that, what's called Onigashima, but maps like Thriller Bark, there's only one drop, for example, or Arlong Park, it's a completely flat one besides that initial jump, or even Marineford, completely flat map in general. This trait becomes useless. Interesting approach. She is an attacker, not a runner, so I'm wondering why they gave her that. It should have maybe been like an attack buff or something. Gives you more of an incentive to use it, but interesting for what it is. Also, when you shock people right here, you get a, what's it called, a let me see, you decrease their defense, should I say, and then you also get increased cooldown time of their dodge. So the whole point of it is you shock them with their normal, then you hit them with the skill because they can't jump out of it, and then you get that again and just keep on wheeling on them. Another character does the same thing as another character does the same thing, should I say, is Pedro. But the thing is, Pedro I think does it better because every single time he shocks, he gets a stack to 50%. I think it's 5% per or 7, give or take. I might be wrong. But she just, you know, debuffs them, which is okay, but I would rather have a stack on this type of character. But she does have the stat buff and the skill. But like I said, her main issue is just shock is her main thing, and shock isn't as prevalent, as well as being anti-heal doesn't give you that heal back, which really sucks. But this carrot can pack a punch. I've seen a lot of carrots hit hard, as well as this one when I've played her. She can be a very, very sleeper unit, but do not what's it called, underestimate her because her damage is pretty good. And once again, being a light unit will just inherently bump you up just because lights are pretty much the meta color right now anyway. So we'll go on to the next number right now. Okay, so next on the list will be Atlas. There you go, I almost forgot her name for a second. It's going to be Punk 5 Atlas. As you can tell, I'm not the biggest fan of this unit either, but I can say she's a lot better than the characters I've already talked about. Sad to me that Pudding is so high on the list. Maybe next year more step ups come out and she actually inevitably gets bumped off this list. My bias aside though, Atlas is on our list. I think she's going to be number 6 on this one. I might be wrong. I might be counting wrong. 6 or 7. We'll say 6. But the reason she's on this list is one of her skills is an instant one-shot. It's going to be good. There's problems with her though. Like I said, I wasn't the biggest fan of her. When I played her, I was very, very critical on her survivability. Being a dark unit as a step up really sucks. Comparing her to every single dark unit that's ever came out, every dark unit has a specific thing to them that keeps them meta relevant. The Giants have the guard mechanic as well as ignoring 1 HP, so it's taking one-shot shanks. Also, they're a little, range is something. Even though I hate the Giants, I think the Giants absolutely suck. They have that as well. Pacifista, for example, also has a shield as well as knockback, and it's 100% shield, not 50 per knockback. Insane damage as well. Dark Roger obviously is self-explanatory. 1 invincible skill. Commissary is basically invincible. He'll deal the damage back to you if you hit him, as well as percentage damage and extra life. Hockey stay. He's an EX. What'd you expect? And even Dark Ray. Dark Ray is a shield, fixed damage, and then what's it called? Ignore 1 HP. And then you look at this unit, and she has a one-shot that sucks, and that's it. Going through her list though, her job is violence. My job is violence. This skill is pretty good. I actually like this a lot more than her one shot. I think this skill is a lot more easy to hit / use. So she just kind of flies around. It hits 8 times when you're flying. But if you're just flying at them, you'll hit them. The last hit is 566. It's very, very good for movement. The damage is good and the movement is great. Nothing too crazy there. Ultra Mighty Punch is my main gripe. It ignores reduction. Ignores obstacles, so do keep that in mind. So you can actually one-shot Uta if she doesn't have her shield in her pumpkin, which is very, very good. Skill power 1,500, very solid. It's just the ramp-up time is too much. Her running and not, this skill not being a charge skill really sucks. And her running to then jump and do the hit, it's so slow. It's so easy to dodge. You have to bait dodge and pray that they don't have an invincible skill or you just can't hit the skill, which really sucks. Comparing this skill to King Punch, which is basically the same thing, the issue with King Punch is that you have to use a skill to get a skill that you can use maybe twice if you're lucky. But it's infinitely better because the range is great. It also ignores obstacles. I think it ignores reduction and has the same attack stack. I might be wrong. It might be defense. But you're invincible when you use King Punch. This one you're not. It sucks. It's so bad that you can get hit while charging this. So going down the list. When you attack an enemy with the skill 2, with that punch, if you manage to hit it, you ignore 1 HP as well as extra life, which is solid as fuck. Very good. On paper, when I saw this character, I knew that this trait is going to be busted, but then when I realized what, skill it's locked behind, it just sucks. For a second time after using skill 2, you also get resist stagger being down, so while you're flying, you can't get knocked back out of it, and you can't get status, but you can't get killed. That's the only thing you gotta keep in mind. When you down a character, you also get a heal back as well as cooldown, which is pretty nice. And then when you attack an enemy, you also get a stack of 5% to 30, and also a defense buff to 30. So you want to be aggro with this character, but it doesn't make sense why she's aggro because she's a dark unit. She has type disadvantage against everybody but lights. It's terrible. It's counterintuitive to what a dark unit should be, which I know a lot of dark units are pretty, aggro, I guess, like Pacifista and Roger. But at the same time, this is a step up that they want you to be aggro with low stats. It's just not great. When you also attack an enemy with skill 2, if you manage to hit it, you also heal 50% recovery damage given. So basically, it's a full heal because it does an insane amount of damage. I've seen it hit 50k, 70k. But like I said, that skill just sucks so much ass that it's on paper it's great, but it's just terrible that you can get hit out of it. There's no reduction behind that skill or invincibility, and she's just running like an idiot. You can't dodge. It's not even a charging skill. She just does the animation, and you're just praying that you can hit it. The ramp up time is slow as shit. When she jumps down, it's super slow. But if you manage to hit it, it is a great skill. The other skill is pretty good. You also get what's it called? Resist stagger from a really weird trait as well. You also get reduced damage received, and also you recover percentage damage if you're HP 70% or above, which is whatever. You know, it's okay to have. But in this meta, she's not that great. But the only reason why she's so high is because of the little King Punch skill that she has, as well as just not being as bad as the other characters. That's all it is. But she's going to be our number 6 spot. And for our top 5, we're getting to the top 5s, you know, spots. It's going to be... Actually, hold on, I might have miscounted. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. No, she was number 5. So our number 4 spot, there you go. So she was number 5. Number 4 is going to be Hack. As much as it pains me to say, he's not as good as these other characters. He was my number 1 spot last year. It sucks that he's not as good, but he is almost top 3, not quite there, but he will be taking our number 4 spot. So Hack is a very solid unit. He is a very big one-trick pony, but that trick that he does is he does it very well. And it's just a one-shot. It's like Atlas, but the only reason why I put Atlas below him is just because of survivability and what he has as well. That I'll talk about right now. Him having the counter is very nice. It's Let's Speak with our fist. It's gonna be the counter. If you miss it, it's whatever. I think you only get like an attack buff, and that's it. But if you can hit it, you stun them. But if you can't stun them, you take away their dodge. So you're almost guaranteed to hit his skill 1 when they hit the counter. There's really no way that they can really play off of it unless they have invincible skill or counter, which is prevalent in this meta. That's why he did fall off for number 1, because invincible skills are a lot more, what's it called, known or seen in this meta. You know, Lucci has an invincible skill, S-Snake has a couple invincible skills, as well as the dodge mechanic thing that she has with the flame, and then there's also characters like Garp right now that I haven't really fought against, has shield, and then there's to the top of my head, I'm trying to remember more ones. Commissary Shanks has like 2 invincible skills, and then shields, like I said, exist, which isn't great. His skill though is skill 1, 4,000 Brick Fist, has 909 damage for the skill. He also ignores reduction, which is nice. And then going through his traits, sorry, there's a dumpster on the outside. Perfect time to record, right? So when you hit somebody with the counter, you also reduce the cooldown of the other skill, the skill 1 by 50%. You also stack the skill by 100, complete full stack on the damage. So your damage is already getting increased by that. And also when your HP is 50% or below, you also get a, or 50% or more, should I say, you get a 1 HP trait, which is very solid. When HP is 10% or less, so when you get that 1 HP trait, you also get damage dealt increased by 50%, and you also get skill 2 back 200%, so you have insta counters, which is very nice to have. When around your enemy's treasure, you also get an increased damage dealt. When damage dealing stun gets inflicted, you also, like I said, take away their dodge, as well as decrease their defense by 20%. So you're going to be doing more damage if you can stun them, which is very good. And then when you're on a 1-on-1 ISO, you also get a resist dagger effect, that's pretty good in a treasure area, not yours, not theirs, even like the regular non-claimed ones. You have that or resist dagger. And then when you KO an enemy, you get skill 1 cooldown as well, and skill 2, which is very solid. The only issue with Hack, like I said, is shields exist, invincible skills exist, and him not having heals really sucks. I wanted to revisit him with a healing metal set, but anti-heal is a lot more prevalent in this meta, so it does make sense that he doesn't have it, but having a lot of survivability with that counter is very nice. Insta counters is also great. I compared this guy a lot to Oni Sanji because I was very critical against Oni Sanji. If you know, you know. I wasn't the biggest fan of that unit, and Hack has a lot of things that Sanji should have had. Like I said, easy stack, 1 HP trait, and then a lot of cooldowns. He's a very solid unit, does so much damage. My most recent short, or most viewed short, is Hack doing 100k to an Albert on Team Boost, but crazy damage. He's very solid. I don't know how he does in this meta. I wouldn't recommend him as much just because of that survivability aspect, but he is my number 4 for step-ups. Very solid unit still, and we'll go on to number 3. Ganfall is my number 3, or Gan 4 as the game says. The only reason I will say this little blurb I have him on number 3 is I haven't really gotten able to play him. I want to get him to 100, then make a gameplay, and then I'll really see how he is. but from what I know and what I faced, he is a very solid defender. Going down the list though, that's enough. It's just a knockback thing. 351, which is really good. Very basic skill there. Lunging skill as well. Impact dial is really big bread and butter. He also gets an attack increase of 20% when the counter is hit, and he also hit 790, which is very high. Like I said, one shot skill like Atlas is 1,500, so that's like 1,000 damage sheer off, which is kind of crazy. That's a lot of damage. It also has knockback, and when you fail, you still get a damage off with knockback. But he does have something interesting with that counter that if you don't know, I'll talk about right now, obviously. When you hit the skill 1, or skill 2, sorry, the counter, either if you fail it or not, you cut their HP by 100% of damage dealt. So if you have a lot of damage on this guy, or a lot of attack on this guy, you're going to be cutting their HP pretty significantly. And him being a dark unit, it's fine for what it is. Like I said, dark units have a lot of OP traits like this. This is his OP trait. To have that as well. And then he also gets cooldown of skill 2 as well per counter, per hit, should I say. So let's say if you hit a counter on 2 people, instant skill. Very solid. When you have a 50%, 50% or more HP, you also get a 1 HP trait. When your HP is 50% or less, you also reduce 50% damage received, and also get skill cooldown for the counter 100%. So you get insta counter if you're getting weak. When around your captured treasure area, you get your generic reduction. When you knock back an enemy around your treasure, you also increase cooldown time of their skills, so they can't use their skills, and also you reduce their attack by 30%, so it's a very solid. And then when you're by yourself, basically, you also reduce stagger and knockback. You also take away status effects that keep you still, so like candy, stun, edit, tremor, all that. You just can't get hit by it, which is very good. And then when you're down, you also get a 15% heal back. He has a lot of survivability for what it looks like. And then having that HP cut as well as the knockback immunity and status effect immunity. Granted, it is behind a trait that might not proc as much if you're with the team. Very solid unit. Like I said, the only issue why I wouldn't put him higher than what he is on number 3, which is top 3, is great for him. I haven't played him as much as I have with other characters, should I say. So I couldn't really say where he would be on, like, me personally. But I do have him finally. If you do know from last year, I had like 1,200 frags that I bought for him. And I finally fucking pulled him on a ticket for Bonney. Got this guy at almost 100 on 1 copy, which is kind of insane. But I will be making gameplay on him soon, so keep an eye out for that. Like I said, pretty solid unit. Great, very great for our number 3. Our number 2 unit for top 2 step up for this year is actually going to be York. York is going to be the number 2, like I said. Her main thing, I made gameplay on her already. People already know why I think she's great, and she's still pretty fucking good. Her skill 1, it's nothing crazy. Knockback skill, 527 damage. Also reduces speed. Nothing too crazy there. But her main thing is going to be Sleepy. She gets a 70% reduction when she hits the skill. She just stays on the flag. Consistently heals 6 times for 150. As well as, for some reason, your speed gets increased for 10 seconds. For some reason. You also nullify Stagger as well. And you nullify, chances of, or not nullify, but you reduce the chance of getting pushed away in the flag, so pushback won't work on you either. Very solid skill. This skill basically makes you immortal in a flag, and like I said this before with Shark about the 70% reduction not being enough, but because she's in the flag and she has a lot more traits to be in the flag, it works hand in hand with her kit. For, like I said, separate time after using your skill 2. If you're using your skill 2, you also increase the gauge recovery by 200%, so you'll fill the flag up like in 2 seconds when you're in that. And you also reduce cap speed from the team that's in there, which is very good for 30%. And you can stack this. If you keep on consistently sleeping and they're in the flag, you can stack it to 80% decrease of their cap speed. And a lot of characters have only 50% cap speed, so you're just taking away that trait, which is absurd. That's a crazy trait to have for a step up. And then when you use skill 2, you also recover the treasure gauge 150 easily as well. And then you also can ignore people and just fill up the flag. So if you're just in the flag and people are fighting and it's like half filled, sleep on it, boom, it's filled up again in like 2 seconds. When you use skill 2, you also you remove status effects at all. So no stun, no anti-heal, no nothing. You resist stagger and being down and knockback, so they really can't get you off the flag. It's It's such a good skill. Such a good skill. She also has an anti-entrance trait, which is very interesting. Like I said, the only entrance unit in this meta is S-Snake. But when you get entranced, you also get a skill 1 by 50%. You also get a heal back of 50, which is pretty cool. I don't know why they gave it to her, but it's just a little extra, I guess. When you're HP 70% or more, you also get a reduction of 50%. So if you're HP 70% or above, you have a 50% reduction plus a 70% reduction from skill. You're taking no damage, literally no damage. And then when you're just moving, should I say, you also get a cooldown of skill 2 by 200%. 200% cooldown when you're just moving. Crazy. And when HP is 50% or more, you also appear as a member of the enemy team. So that can help for people that are very, very map aware. But you can't use it in the first 10 seconds. So do keep that in mind. When trigger gauge is recovered to 150, you also get a team boost gauge by 10%. Comparing this to like Nami that I had on this list, this is 10%, not 5. As long as you're filling up the flag, if you fill up 3 flags, you already have 30% team boost. Insane. This trait is so good. She's such a solid unit. The only issue for me not putting her at the #1 spot is her ability to fight is non-existent. Without your skill 1, you don't do damage. She's not that great, and you're consistently fighting characters that can just grab the flag like Roger and I'm trying to think about the other one. Fuck, I already forgot. Let's say like the Random Claw for now, because I forgot what other unit I was thinking about. You can't really get them off the flag without that skill 1, but if you have a teammate with you, you'll be solid. 9 times out of 10, she's a great, super great defender. Takes no damage. Like I said, the sleep skill is infinitely one of the better skills of any step up in this game, compared to the #1 spot that you guys already probably know who it is because I've been showing the box. But yeah, York, phenomenal unit. Highly recommend you guys play her if you do have her. She's very, very solid. Do not sleep on this unit. If you see her on the other team, just make sure you try to kill her as soon as possible because she will be a nuisance. But yeah, that's for York, my #2 spot. And my #1 spot for top 1 step up this year is going to be Bonney. I just got her 80, and I was playing her a couple of times at max, and Bonney is easily the best step up in this year. I'm hoping, as I record this video, I'm hoping they don't release another step up when I upload this video because it'll just completely neg it or they're great. But Bonney is the #1 step up in my opinion. She is so good, so good. Going down her list, H-Gear, anti-cap. Anti-cap is one of the best statuses in this game. It literally stops the team from winning. Such a good fucking trait, or not trait, but what's it called? Status effect. The skill power is 615 when knocked back. You also reduce attack and speed by 30% for 20 seconds, and your cooldown is 34 seconds, which is not too long for a skill. Super solid. What's it called? A little skill she has. Her bread and butter is gonna be is so good. So this is going to be a little bit of an RNG trade. If you ever played Blue Hawkins, it's the same thing. So she gets a heal back of 180 plus steady recovery for 16 seconds. So it's going to be 0.5 of a heal every 3 seconds. So you'll get that about 8 times, if I'm mathing correctly. No, actually not 8 times, 5 times. Yeah, 5 times. No. Is it 5? I don't even know. Whatever. It's probably 5. But it's pretty good. But one of the following can occur. So it's either your attack increases by 100%, which is the one you're going to be going for, and speed for 30%. A defense buff, which is pretty nice as well, and then speed by itself. So it just, like I said, it's very RNG based. To get that 100%, what's called attack plus speed, it's a 10% chance. To get the defense is a 45% chance, and then for the just speed increase is a 45% chance. So it's weird because that math does not math at all. Once again, but she's very, very RNG. But having that attack increase is very, very nice. But I think honestly the best buff is that defense buff. I built her very tanky, so having that attack buff isn't the greatest, but it is good to have damage. You can kind of tell when she has it, because she has like this big little aura that flares up, so do keep that in mind when that does occur. But the reason why she's #1, she gets a defense buff per steady heal, which is 5% up to 50%. So if you do it, if my math was mathing, each steady recovery gives you what's it called? A 5%, not 5%, a 5 times heal. You should do it twice, and that should be max. No, I think so. I don't even know. I think it's about like 2-3 skills, and you'll be full stacked. It's just really, really easy to stack. When you also get steady heal, you also get a skill 1 in like just completely back. It's very, very good. And you also can ignore people and fill up the treasure gauge. When you collect the power up item, you also team boost. Another very, very strong mechanic that can be a meat on the field. The big plate, speed buff, drink, or what's the other one? There's another one I can't fucking remember. Oh, egg on egg, the big meal. You also get invincible for 5 seconds. You get invincibility 5 seconds for a step up. Insane. When attacking an enemy with skill 1, you also get that what's called capture block that I was talking about for 25 seconds. I was really praising Sentomaru when I made his gameplay on anti-cap, and she has it for 25 seconds as well. So just keep that in mind. Very, very solid. You also get a skill 2 by 15% when you hit that skill 1, and it just helps you get the skill 1 easy, like quicker. It works both ways. When you attack an enemy you're strong against, you also nullify statuses inflicted by enemies. So like Dark Roger can't stun you, any dark unit can't status you, as well as red. No, not red. Yeah, red. There you go. Red units, which once again, red units aren't that meta, but as the meta shifts, she's gonna boost that more when red units come out. For the top of my head, the ones that can't status you, like Yamato Ace, Red Runner Yamato can anti-heal you. Very, very solid skill. What's called trait there. When around your captured treasure area, you also get resist dagger and knockback, and you also get a damage received, or what's called a reduction by 30%. So you just can't get off the flag. The only way, obviously, is if they just cap it straight up. But like against somebody like Yamato, like I said, super solid unit. When attacking an enemy that's capturing the treasure, you also get a cooldown. You increase their cooldown chance so they can't dodge. You also get skill 1, so you can just wombo combo them and then just hit them with your skill 1 to anti-heal them. When attacking an enemy that the element you're strong against as well, you also get skill 2. So it works both ways. All of her skills are very, very solid. Anti-cap is the best status in the game, easily. And then every skill flows perfectly. You get a stack. You get anti-cap. You get a bunch of cooldown, and then you have very, very good heals. You can fill the flag when people are on the flag. You can get some buffs from either the RNG based ones. You just have so many good things that's going for her. She does very, very well in this meta. Lots of runners that people are using right now, like Uta, as well as what's the other one? Dark Roger can get statused. The rare S Sharks can get status from what I remember, especially because I think he has to have type advantage, like I said. So she doesn't. So boom, anti-cap there. The only problem is, I will say, anti-status exists. Film red shanks. Commissary shanks exists, which does suck with this unit, but not too oppressive for her. She is easily the best step up, like I said. She has a lot of things going for her. She's a very, very solid unit. If you did pull for her, congrats. You have the best step up in the game, in my opinion. Super, super solid unit. But yeah, with that being said, these are my top 10 step ups for the year. Like I said, if I had Helmeppo, if I were to really rank him, I would probably put him either, like I said, this is super on paper. I would either put him above Atlas, just because I really think she's not great, or it was either above Atlas, so where Hack is, so top 5 in that case, or I would have put him in, I want to say maybe, depending on how bad he really is, because I've heard some really bad things, he could honestly be behind, or not behind, but above Green Pudding, so around like the 8th spot. But yeah, there you go. This is my end of the year present to you guys. Let me know what you guys think, thoughts on the list down below. Like I said, I'm not going to be doing too much camera on content, because it's not my camera, it's my brother's camera. I don't really use it too often. I hope you guys enjoy this video. Like I said, I appreciate all the support for the channel. Let me know your thoughts on the list. Like I said, let me know what you guys want to see from me next. Like I said, end of the year little thing plus the subscriber special. It's probably going to be all in one big video towards the end. But yeah, that's really about it for me. Hopefully we'll be even bigger next year for the channel. If you are gonna go to the live LA event thingy, since you guys kind of know what I look like already, if you do see me, you can say what's up. I'll say what's up to you. I'll probably be with one of my homies over there. But yeah, with that being said, the Team 3s are signing out, and I'll see you guys next video. Peace.